As we arrived back at the racetrack, I noticed that there were a lot of people standing by the stalls, which is funny because usually it's just a stable hand mucking out stalls so that the owners of the horses don't have to. As we got closer, I figured out why they were standing there. A man was standing by the stables. I quietly put my horse into her stable. "Hey, wanna come watch Phoebe ride? She's like our best rider," one of the girls said to the guy. God, they're pathetic and really annoying, actually. Although, she wasn't wrong. I mean, Phoebe is an amazing rider. She always has been, and believe it or not, but at some point in my life, that spoiled brat was actually my best friend. But that was all before. I take off my horse's bridle and give her some treats that I found in the depths of my pockets. Or, well, more like crumbs of treats that were in my pocket at some point. "Good girl, Days," I said to her, and I gave her a little kiss on her nose. I looked in the stable next to us. That is usually empty, but it's not. I find this giant of a horse standing there. He notices me and moves towards the stable wall. I carefully reach out my hand. He puts his head down a little so that I could reach him from Daisy's stall to pet him on his forehead. "And who are you?" I said with a very high voice that you usually put up when talking to a toddler. The horse leaned his head on my arm. It was the cutest thing ever. It made me chuckle. I don't know what it was about this horse, but it had something familiar. I just couldn't quite put my finger on it. A couple of minutes later, I find this man standing at the stable door of the unknown gigantic horse. It was the man that I saw talking with those girls earlier. "Hello there," he said with an arrogant smirk on his face. "Hi," I replied. "I'm Thomas, but you can call me Tom," he said. "Piper." "Who's this?" I respond. "That's H&M All In, or Alan," he said. "Wait, H&M All In?" Now it makes sense. Alan. Alan was a horse bred by my dad. He was such a pain in the butt as a youngster. Alan was totally uncontrollable. My dad and I worked together on this horse. It took a while, but we did it. In almost a year, Alan became the sweetest and most adorable horse ever. That was before my dad passed away 2 years ago. Tom looked behind me, to Daisy. "Who's that?" he asked. That's Daisy, my horse," I replied. "Daisy, huh?" He walked over to the door of Daisy's stall. "Tennessee Walker, am I right?" he said after checking out my horse. "Yes, actually. How'd you know?" I replied. "I used to ride one when I was younger. The sweetest creature I'd ever come across," he said. This Tom guy also seemed familiar to me for some reason, and it's not just because apparently he's the person who we sold Alan to. But God, where had I seen him before? "I'm sorry, but have I seen you somewhere before? Your face is so familiar," I asked him. He paused for a second and then smiled. "Well, on TV, of course. I am famous after all," he said in the most arrogant tone I've ever heard in my life. I looked at him with a straight face, still confused who this man was. "Sorry, it's not ringing any bells," I said. He let out a sigh. "I'm Thomas Cooper, you know, the famous show jumper. I'm kind of a big deal around here," he said. Then it hit me. I was standing right in front of one of the most famous riders on Jorvik ever. "Wait, so you're the new trainer then?" I asked in disbelief. "Yep," he looked at me with a satisfied smirk on his face. Then we got interrupted by Phoebe, which is strange because I could have sworn Bethany just told us Phoebe was riding her horse. "Hey Thomas, can you help me with the course?" she asked, completely ignoring me. "Sure," Tom said, a little too happily if you ask me. "See you later, Piper," he said, then winked at me. I replied with an eye roll. "Yeah, bye," I said softly. He turned around and walked away. I left Daisy's stall with her bridle, my boots and my helmet, and clumsily put it away in the tack room. Then I went back into Daisy's stall. Then I gave her a kiss and I went home.